around to dark mode because I know you guys are not going to be happy about light mode here. We can't have that, can we? Uh, Background. That's where it is. Dark. There we go. All right, let's do this thing. Greetings, everyone. Hello, Nials, Fit Tony, Malcolm, everyone in the chat. Great to see you all. Let's play A6. Stop the bishop B5 operation. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. How are you guys? Shout out to everyone on Twitch and YouTube as well. Hello, Oliver on YouTube. Greetings to Zachary, by the way. I saw you in the chat early over there. I'm going to try not to drop a game extremely early in this stream. I think it was last time someone took me down right off the bat. So I need to defend my record at the outset. All right, let's go G6. I'm going to fianchetto the bishop. Hey, Cold River. Yes, you did catch this. So just as a reminder, this is 2 hours of 3+0 Blitz on Lichess.org. Anyone can challenge. It just has to be a 3+0 game, so it can be rated, casual, whatever you want. I will put my rating on the line, my 2600 Blitz rating. Hello, Numeroid. Good to see you. Everyone say hello to Numeroid in the chat, one of the Lichess mods. Shout out to No Joke Chess, by the way, as well. He's usually in the mix somewhere, too. Hello, Fins0995. I like that username. I remember you. MCJGP says hello to Numeroid in the chat. Very good. Nice. Let's play knight g4. Very likely this knight's going to pivot here. So, I'd anticipate white plays queen e2. I'm going to castle, though. We'll play this like a dragon-style setup where hopefully my king is safe enough. I think from the looks of things, I don't have a whole lot to fear in the short term. But, yeah, it's a dragon-type position. We'll go here, try to gain a tempo on that bishop. Hello, Neural Mapping. Hey, good to see you. Been a little while. Hope we get a game, yeah. A pastime like unlike any other. Yeah, a tradition unlike any other. Just like the Masters golf tournament. Cold River asked, John, do you think it's worth it to play the classical time controls online, or is the prevalence of cheating too much? Interesting question. I think you're going to get differing views on that. I do believe that although cheating is a problem, you shouldn't overly worry about it when it comes to online chess. It gets taken care of. People get banned. It's kind of just a cost of doing business playing online, unfortunately. So I wouldn't categorically dismiss classical because of that. What I would do if I were you is I would take advantage of the leagues. The Lichess leagues are great. So shout out to the Lone Wolf League as well as the 45+45 League. Two of the best leagues on the internet. Some of the most serious practice you can get playing online, for real. I've turned a lot of my students onto these leagues over the years. They really like them. And I would recommend, if you're interested in classical, that you go for that because you're probably going to enjoy the lack of cheating because the games are monitored and everyone in the league, for the most part, is serious about improving. And also the camaraderie of the league, I think you'll enjoy too. Maybe Rook E1 would have been a little more testing there. Against this one, I think I'm going to take the dark square bishop. I'm way up on the clock, so that bodes well for me. Yeah, let's take here. And now, I was thinking bishop f5. I don't know that I probably should care about this pawn, but I'm going to sack it. We're going to just give that pawn away and see what happens. Hello, Benny. How you doing? All right, let's play. I'm really showing my lack of understanding of some of these positions. Let's play rook c5. I got to milk that time advantage. That's the most important thing. Let's go b5. I feel like white's going to play g4, but maybe I can do this, huh? Because the knight can't really move due to this. So this looks reasonable. I'll take here now. Yeah, I like this because I got some pressure against that white position. Threatened checkmate in one. Now b4 could be a threat. I'll come back. And can I take? Take queen e6? I guess that's fine. Not king g7, though. King g7, queen takes f5. My tactical antenna is tuned right now, even though it is daylight savings time. Those of you in a place where daylight savings time has just taken place will know. I think for our European viewers, most of you guys have daylight savings time coming up in like 2 weeks, like end of March. But yeah, it was yesterday for us, so basically lost an hour of sleep. Thank you for the game, Be the Great. I think you were somewhat better. I liked your centralized position. I think this f5 idea by me was a little sketchy. Probably if you play like rook e1 here, you're in good shape. Somewhat of an edge according to the engine. But main thing was the time management. Maybe you could have picked off that pawn even on b7. I think I was bluffing a little bit with that. Oh, look at that. Who noticed queen takes c5? I did not notice that one. Someone out there must notice. I'm checking YouTube chat. Did you guys notice that? No one put it in the chat. Therefore, nobody saw it. QED. It didn't happen. Never occurred. Pure fiction. You know that meme where the guy from Star Trek is like, fiction. Pure fiction. But yeah, that would have been a nice alignment tactic here. Thank you for the game, Be the Great. All right. Willie the Pig, 1787. Let's go. I'll play e4. Thank you. Kolf, by the way, says, hi, good luck. And hello again to Zach. Also, the Doctor, 257. Let's play... Let's play a main line of the Caro. I often play the advanced variation, but you know what? I'm going to play the knight c3 line. Try to get something spicy here. Knight f6. Yeah, knight f6. Black's going to spice it up before I can spice it up. Let's play c3. Knight f6 is not bad. I mean, I think, technically speaking, white should be pretty happy with this. But it is not a bad variation at all. Totally playable. Let's go knight g3. He says, I'm going to die. Brazilian government canceled it. Yeah, a lot of countries have gotten done away with daylight savings, right? I would prefer that we do away with it. There's always a new bill or suggestion introduced about doing so because I think for the most part, people like the consistency. As a chess teacher, it's an annoying time of the year to schedule for me because daylight savings is inconsistent around the world. A lot of countries don't observe it. So even if they do observe it, like with Europe I was mentioning, there's a lag difference between Europe and North American countries that use daylight savings. And that's kicking in right now for the next 2 weeks. Okay, let's play g3. Okay, so black's being solid. I have a feeling black's going to take and then play rook e8. And this is the type of like micro edge that you work with in these types of positions. It's really not much for either side. I think in theory I should be fairly happy with this though, because black hasn't made use of their doubled pawns over there. So if I play this, like if we could swap down to a king and pawns ending, I'd probably be winning because these pawns are discounted always. So I shouldn't mind trades in theory if black's not achieving much from these trades. That's interesting. All right, let's just play b3. I like this move. Kind of makes this knight especially bad. The b6 square is not very good for the knight. I could see black maybe playing this, although I'll have the option of d5 at that point if I want. I could also just play bishop e3. All right, so black is moving this pawn now. But let's go ahead and play a4. I'm trying to put on a strategic masterclass here. I might keep the idea of h5 in mind, too, if I want to try to attack. a4 can be annoying against a knight placed on b6, just looking to chase it. Thing is, I actually think black should do this, so I'm just, in general, gaining some space here. Hello, Suresh. You can always contact me. Send me a message on Lichess if you like. So black does play knight c8 voluntarily. Makes sense, makes sense. You know what? Let's see what he does against this move. I'm going to poke and probe a little bit because it's kind of a tough call. Should black play h6 to stop me from playing h6? Or should they just maintain the situation? Don't think black wants to play g6 because then I will gladly play h6. Yeah, here too, I feel like h6 is a good move for me. I'm going to do it. Because let's say black plays this. If at any point I can get my queen to threaten mate on g7, I think black's going to have difficulties. I can try to sneak my queen in. I might just go queen e3 next move directly. Let's say g6, queen e3, and if queen e6, maybe queen f4, and look to the back rank over here. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that this position is borderline losing for black with equal material. I would be pretty surprised if black can defend this in the long term. White's got the bishop versus knight with both sides on the both pawns on sides of the board. And yeah, it's just increasingly getting difficult for black to hold things together here. Because if black goes queen c8, that's going to allow this queen e5 move. So black goes there, and I don't think that interferes with queen b8 at all. Just penetrate. Take your next move. Mate coming up. Hello, Sapling. All right. Thank you for the game, Willie the Pig. So the issue here is you never really had much to show for the doubled pawns. That is the strategic risk that black is taking on in this line with knight f6 and e takes f6. You can also play g takes f6. That's a little more dynamic where you capture towards the center. Sometimes there's opposite side castling that happens there. But yeah, I think just trading down, while understandable, especially when you're facing a high-rated player, it really bears repeating that you're admitting that these pawns are discounted. The closer we get to a king and pawns ending, the more vivid that becomes. I agree, Numerite. These types of scenarios are pretty instructive. So, I was making a pretty bold claim here. I was saying I thought black was like borderline losing after this. Funnily enough, the engine actually doesn't even like h6 as much as other moves, bishop b4 or queen e3. I mean, it really doesn't like h6 compared to some of these other ones. I think this is about a 1.5 mistake by me. But the moves it wants black to play here are fairly difficult for a human to play. G takes h, like really ugly move, shattering the pawns further. Or f6, never play f6 except right here. Again, allowing me to shatter the pawns. So I feel pretty okay about h6, but I can see why maybe the engine doesn't like it. It's probably going to be tougher for white to get through there. But yeah, g6, maybe that capture f6 should be played just because this leads to problems on the dark squares. And d5 is already playable because of this, huh? Interesting point there. So if takes here and black just has a tough time guarding g7, has to play f6 and get really desperate. But you can see that everything's coming together here for white pretty quickly. So queen e3, and already I think black's in a must-play f6 situation, and even then it's close to +2 for white. f6 makes sense, though, because black has to start putting some pawns on dark squares to try to keep me out of the dark squares. Black has a lot of stuff on light squares here, especially their pawns. So that does look to be the only move. And after this, queen f4, you guys see the eval. That's GG. Never play f6 again, except for a position like this. So thank you for the game, Willie the Pig. Okay, chess 987654. We played before, haven't we? Yes, we have. Let's play d4. Oh, thanks, Suresh. I'll look for your message. Normally, I'm scared of players with lots of numbers in their username. But Chess 98765 we've already kind of vetted them because we played a game together. So they're a clean player. I know that. Blindfold game? Oh, was that the blindfold game? It was from last week. Right. Yeah, we had a really interesting blindfold game. It was the final game of last week's session. Now, bishop f5, you see that move a lot. Those of you who play d4 and especially play Queen's Gambit, you're going to want to know this. Pay attention. C takes d5 and now Queen b3. This is how you punish this operation. Black's basically trying a reverse London system. If we flip the board here, it's a London system just down a tempo for Black and attempting it against a Queen's Gambit. And it just doesn't quite work out, often for tactical means. But even players as strong as Capablanca have actually played this from the Black side back in like 1916. He played a game against Janowski where he actually won in very instructive fashion. I believe he played knight takes d5. I think Janowski actually played queen b3 first and then took, which isn't quite as good. But here, this is going to get painful for Black, I think, because we can go e4, and this is well known to be quite strong for White. Sacrificial move, but it opens up bishop b5. Watch for my knight to hop up to e5 as well. Black's already kind of weakened this diagonal. Really weakened this diagonal, actually. I shouldn't even qualify that. And we're going to try to punish that. Oh, yes, I have this in my D4, my free D4 course on Chessable. That is correct, Numeroid. Thank you for studying that course. Okay, knight takes e4. Now, I think I'm going to give a check on b5. I'm just kind of making sure what I want to do here. Yeah, let's give the check. We'll see which way Black blocks. And now I think I'm going to take here. I think I'm going to do that, which hits the bishop, also the knight. And if knight takes c3, I can probably just take back. I should have something better, though, shouldn't I? Let me think. I mean, that's pretty good, but I actually feel like I should have something better. I could play knight e5 now, but all right, I'm gonna play queen takes d5. We regain the pawn with threats. Now remember, I'm eyeing up this rook too, so if ever I take, Black would have to take back with the bishop. And this is kind of the problem. So here, I can take this way. And there's a couple hindrances, but I think I should come out ahead. Again, just verifying. Yeah, let's take. So king e7 is forced here. Because queen takes is pretty trivial. Queen takes a8. I'm just thinking what I'm going to do against king e7. Do I have even some spectacular idea with like knight e5? I think knight e5 is not working. Queen b7 was one thought. I might just play queen c6, though. It looks kind of pedestrian, but I think queen c6 is the move here. And I'm getting low on time, so I should play it. Point being, Black really can't ever take this bishop. I'm guarding c8, getting out of the attack. If we have a trade here, maybe bishop a3 is opened up. Is checking chessable mid-blitz allowed? That is definitely not allowed. Yeah, don't do that. All right, let's give a check here. And now let's check here. Chase that king around. Let's check here. And shall I take the queen? I think so. Time to take. And we're going to have mate next move. All right. Chess, I almost mated you on the same... It was the same square as last game. Look at that. You guys can see the little mini board down here. h5. Look at that. King on h5. And it was the same operation. Knight on f3 guarding the queen on g5. No, wait. That's literally the game we just played. I better pull this up. This is the other game. It was h6. and it was with the pawns. I'm looking at the same game. I'm like, did that just happen? Nah, it was on h6 last time, but it was h-file both games. Interesting. Well, thank you for the game, man. Let's check that real quick. Yeah, interesting. Knight takes e4. It doesn't like bishop e5 as much. I should take first. Okay, I'll have to remember that because I actually don't think I've had someone play knight takes e4 against me. They usually play d takes e4 here. I've seen bishop takes e4 on occasion too. So on d takes e4, you can play either bishop e5 check or even stronger, probably knight e5 right away, threatening checkmate. And if they go here, then there's this check. And often what happens is you're going to remove a defender of the knight here when their bishop is screened from defending. We won't go too much into the details there, but that is a common operation, knight e5 in conjunction with bishop b5. So knight takes e4. It's good to know that knight takes e4 back is actually just the best move here, evidently. So bishop takes, we check, and then we can go pin. And I think bishop f5 probably take. Yup, threatening mate. This is very similar to the game. And if knight takes, pawn takes, then knight e5, which also looks similar to a couple of variations I was showing. King e7. Now bishop g5 or bishop f4. Nothing immediate here. Yeah, castles even, but very difficult for black to move. Pretty awkward. Let's say they play f6. That actually takes away this option. So now a check. And that king is all boxed in. They have to do something like this, which is going to be, you could take, you could play check, win the queen. So there's some tactical details here. Yeah, as played, so knight e7 still wants me to take e4. Okay. I took with the queen. This is still +5. Yeah, still looks winning. Bishop takes e6. That's a nice move. I didn't consider that at all. Queen c6, though, I think is sufficient. So, again, we won't go too much into the details, but do know that bishop f5 that early is punishable by this c takes, queen b3 line. And that's the exact order you want to play that in for white. All right. Thanks for the game, Chess98. So, yeah, black should play either e6, the semi-Slav, d takes c4, a6. There's a few different moves there that are acceptable. Okay, Senor Camelo, good luck. Let's play c4 this game. Kashav on YouTube, yes, you can play with me. Send me a challenge. Fins, remember that I usually get over 50 challenges at a time, so I randomly select them. So no guarantee that you're going to... This is not a great line, by the way. No guarantee that you're going to get accepted, but you can get in the pool of players. Okay, now we might transpose to like a Tarash, perhaps. Interesting. I guess I'll just play bishop g2. Hello, a youthful porpoise says, John, a few weeks ago you played an interesting game using the Stonewall defense for black. Any chance we could see that same opening again? You know, I'll try that. Yes. I will try that. Glad you like that game. All right, just going to castle. This attacks the pawn on d4 a couple times. I think I should probably take here. This could get kind of boring if black trades queens, but I think it's the right call. No, black does not. All right, well, let's do the work ourselves. Now, I feel like I should have a typical Catalan type advantage here. Maybe knight e5, maybe rook d1. Knight b5 looks kind of tempting, but black's probably just going to castle out of it. Let's play... Let's play bishop f4 first. Now I'm going to go... let's go here. And now knight e5. I'm going to try to make it difficult for black to develop this light square bishop, because sometimes... Ooh, did I blunder? I think I blundered. Black to move and exploit my position tactically. See if you guys can find it. Ooh, my opponent missed it. Anybody know what it was? I made a boo-boo. Very good, RM Viana. RM Viana is correct. It was bishop takes f2. Right here. Loose bishop. Bishop takes f2 check. King takes f2. Knight g4 wins a pawn for black. I might have some compensation, like if I don't take. But, yeah, black had that. Oh, yeah, K. Luth as well. Yes, very good. Yup. Let's go here now. No. Maybe I take first? Nah, I think knight b5. Way to go here. Still difficult position for black now. As again, their light square bishop, constantly monitoring that pawn. Now on this one, I can play e4. Also, just knight c7 is kind of a brutally direct move. I can also take, can't I, and then go here. Ooh, that might just be the move. That probably wins material. Let's do that. Parting with the bishop. e4 also looked really good now that I look at it. But let's just do this. This is pretty darn direct. Force them into the line of fire. Knight takes d5 and multiple issues here. Bishop d6. I can play many moves. Bishop takes d6 followed by knight e7. Knight e7 directly. Black's going to have to shed material here. I do play viewers. Yes, these are all viewer challenges. That is correct. Okay, bishop e6. I like that decision. I think that's, you know, a tough decision to have to make, but it's probably correct. Got to get coordinated. But now the rook comes in, double attack. I have 38 seconds, though, so let's not fall asleep here. I'm curious about the evaluation of that position after bishop takes f2. I bet the engine's going to say small edge for black, like quarter pawn or something. Although nowadays, it doesn't often give evaluations like that. It's usually like half pawn or higher in one direction or the other. I'm just consolidating here. I'm going to put my bishop on d4. Hello, Ricardo. Good to see you. Oh, hi, Neil Bruce, too. One of the most famous chess punks. Did you come up with the hashtag chess punks and the whole concept of the punks? Neil Bruce, which is a Twitter thing for chess improvers. You did come up with a name. Nice. Yeah, I thought it was you. I'm glad you guys like the tree, by the way. I have not taken it down yet out of shame. It's been so long, I think I just have to roll with it at this point. I'm going to play f3, king here, just start bringing my king up. Pretty safe pre-move here. And again, king's going right to d4. And then let's just push. I mean, it's going to be tough for black to stop my pawns. Should I be mean? Should I go here? Yeah, there's the bishop coming around the back. So I guess, yeah, I'm just going to push because the king does such a good job of screening. Take, bishop takes f3. Pawn's just rolling through. Yeah, thank you for the game. Let's see that moment where I blundered. It was a small blunder, you know, a pawn. But right here, bishop takes f2 check. Typical fork operation. A lot of these forks happen on like g4, g5. This type of thing with a bishop that's overextended and undefended. So I predicted that it would give black like a quarter pawn advantage here. And that is pretty darn close. So it actually does say that I have compensation, but I should take it. I should not decline it. I should, in fact, take. And then what? King e1. Knight takes e5. And then, yeah, something attacking like this. The engine might be saying that I have a decent chance of getting the pawn back or activating my position. Because this still takes a bit of unwinding for black. This bishop is objectively strong. But I don't know. If bishop takes f2 was played, I might not have taken that bishop. I could see myself playing king f1 here for sure. You downloaded Lichess to play you. That sounds painful. I didn't know Lichess went digital these days. Shout out to Lichess. Always getting confused with Lichess, thanks to autocorrect. But I appreciate it, Justin Doe. Or also Lichens. Lichens probably even more so. Do you guys notice that? If you're typing like Lichess on your phone, for me, it autocorrects to Lichens. Lichens. Alas, Lichess has not made it into the broader autocorrect matrix. Okay, so this does look pretty good for white, but clearly I botched it somewhere. I need to play a preparatory move, h3. The engine says h3. Kind of seems to me that gives black a slight chance to coordinate. But even a move later, if I rule that out and defend this square, apparently this is still very good. It's a lot of pressure here. A top-level guy would be extremely happy with this position. Out of a Catalan type formation. So thank you for the game, Senior. I think maybe, I don't know about this whole operation. Maybe if you play knight c6 early, you can justify it. But yeah, you should probably play knight c6 right now to force me to do something prior to castling. So thanks again for the game. Okay. Minatek. Let's play knight c3. The Van Geet opening. Lichens are an amazing life form. Yeah, they're pretty hardy, right? All right. Scandi invitation. And we transpose to a Caro, a 2 knights Caro. Let's go h3. Ooh, okay, bishop h5. So I know this will be relevant to some of you guys because I know a lot of you play the Caro-Kann. And you might play this line. I think bishop h5 is considered a little bit risky. It's playable, but black has to know what they're doing in this coming variation. You know, I was actually just looking at this line today in a game that one of my students played. And I hadn't looked up the theory yet, but he reached this position as black, and he played queen d6. And then his opponent played here. Which I think is not the best. So this one, though, this ignores the double attack here, is the problem. So black does have to defend the knight. Because now I'm going to win that rook on a8. Just looking for anything better. I don't know. Getting fancy doesn't seem justified. So let's take. And this game's not immediately over. I got to watch stuff like this. My king's a little bit weak, arguably. But that's a lot of material that black has given up. Oh, you want me to play the Jobava London, Suresh? Yeah, I can try that. So we've got a Jobava London, a Stonewall request. I can't take tons of requests, but I'll try to work in some of these suggestions. Hey, David Moss, by the way. Good to see you. Thank you, Fernando, by the way. Fernando Jesus. Thank you from Brazil. Shout out to the Brazilians. Always great to see you guys, as with everyone around the world. Thank you, John Park, by the way, too. Okay, let's castle now. I feel okay castling over here. I've got a nice little protective shell. Maybe black will go h5 or something. This is going to take a little while to get going, but I feel very good about this position. Just got to diffuse black's threats for a little bit. c3, f3. Black's going to have to wind this at some point. Oh, you just started playing the 2 knights. Yeah, I'll show a little bit of the theory after that. I hope you guys don't mind, by the way. I know I could skip some of the commentary after the game is played in favor of getting more games in, but I want this to be educational for you guys and useful in your own play. So I hope you don't mind me taking a minute or two to look at some of these games after the fact if they were interesting. Like, this is all stuff I would tell my own students or my own viewers, the viewers of my channel when I'm playing games. All right, good to hear. Oh, hello, Guram Dise from Odessa. Hope you're staying safe. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, seems like you guys like the analysis. Good stuff. I'm offering that pawn to be captured. I was thinking check here and probably just pile up on e6 after that. Yeah, I think I just go ahead and take it. Maybe I can chase the king as well. This move also seems pretty good. I'm going to do that. Let's attack the rook. Thank you, Polar Cow. All right. Great to hear that, Guram Madis. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your username. I'm sure I am. Okay, here I should have forced mate. Check. If king h6, queen h5 mate. And if this one, going to give a check down here. And then we have checkmate here. All right. Monotech, thank you for the game. Let's go to the analysis board for a second. So, I was taught to play this variation with bishop takes f3 here. Black can take in. They do give up the bishop pair, but then e6. There's theory from here. Black is quite solid because notice you're putting a bunch of pawns on light squares, having given the light square bishop for the knight, so you're kind of shoring up those squares. Now, again, I think this line is playable with bishop h5, but I do believe you have to know what you're doing. So, yeah, we get this trade and then check. g4, this has all been played before, knight e5. Okay, so here you got to defend the knight. And let's consult the master's database because, again, I have not looked up the theory. I mentioned in my students' game, queen d6 was featured, but it looks like they prefer rook c8. Now, before I click a little further here, do you guys know one of the main ideas? Let's say rook c8 is played. Do you guys know one of the main ideas white goes for with this type of setup? Because white has arguably weakened their king side pretty significantly. So what is white perhaps going to think about to justify that in the near future? Play with black? I probably will be playing with black next game, but you never know. I accept random challenges. I do get a lot of whites, though, I have to say. I don't know if some people challenge me and give me the white pieces on purpose, but you can challenge with either color. Yeah, h4. A lot of times white tries to crowd this bishop with h4 at some point. So, again, probably d4 right away makes perfect sense because we want to stop black from playing d4. So d4, and if black plays a little too casually, e6, this move is fine. But you can see white already starts going with h4, and black begins to experience some issues with the bishop due to ideas like that. And actually, judging by the percentages, this seems fine for black at the master level. So maybe maybe this is fully playable. You just have to do your homework. I'm not so much an expert in this line, but you can see white's taking, attacking that. Black's just defending here, and just eyeballing the percentages seems playable. So if you're going to play that bishop h5 variation there, you got to know that stuff, and probably you're going to want to look into it. Okay, thanks for the game. I am out of time. 2272 is up next. Here I am with the black pieces. There you go, my chess cool. All right, let's play g6 here. Okay. Double fianchetto maybe? Nah, let's play Leningrad invitation style. How am I gonna do this? Yeah, let's play f5. Leningrad Dutch transposition. Yeah, this one, Sapling, I played a modern defense with g6, but it's transposed now to more of a Dutch type defense. So that's how I would characterize it. Let's go c6. Play a5. If I were a Dutch player, this is what I would do. I have the most experience in the Stonewall Dutch because I did play that for a period of time. when I was around 1800 to 2000, maybe. All right. And now, interesting. I feel like knight e4 is a decent move here. Yeah, let's try to jam this square. I don't want white playing e4 cleanly. Also thought about d5, which would take things more to a stonewall style formation, but I don't want to give away this square if I can avoid it. Good to hear Prosthetics. Yeah, always interesting to play some offbeat stuff. Now, again, if I were a Dutch player, I'd be strongly considering this move and then maybe like here. But I feel like d5 is the way to go in this position. Yeah, I think d5 is the move. And I would expect f3 here. I think white's going to want to get rid of this pawn because this pawn is pretty oppressive. But it kind of weakens this diagonal. I'm thinking now queen b6 or maybe c5. E3, while tempting, probably will just be met by that. Queen b6 and c5 both look pretty interesting here. I'm going to go queen b6. I don't want to fall too far behind on time, even though my opponent is the one who's allegedly courting time pressure with their username. Ah, yeah, that's interesting. Takes. Oh, your message got held by the auto mod. I don't know why, but I see what you mean with your message. Okay, e3. Yeah, now I probably get a capture. Time to take. Takes with the knight. So bishop g4, h3, take. Again, I'd like to get that e5 move in. I'm really eyeing that up. I'm going to play this direct. I'm going to go here. Arguably, I should keep my light square bishop, but I'm trying to mobilize my position as quick as possible. So this is the plan. Take. And I think here is what I'm going to do. Yeah. And then if take, probably rook e8. And I really like how my pieces are cooperating here. Could also maybe play queen c7 to try to attack this and like maybe these pawns, but somehow keeping my queen on b6 feels better. White goes back. All right, let's bring this into the action. One more piece in the mix. We're not going to release the tension yet because notice white's queen is getting a bit overloaded trying to hold all this together. The one piece I'm not super happy about is my knight. This piece could definitely be better. But you see how by keeping the tension here, I keep my options open. I could take, I could advance e4. I could very well see myself playing that soon. Or I can just leave the tension for a longer period of time. It's favorable tension because almost never is white going to want to take here because it leaves this pretty weak. Yeah, queen d2 makes sense. Looking at maneuvering the knight, I'm not seeing a whole lot with that. I'm going to go e4 because it makes both these bishops bad. This one I think is going to have to relocate here. I don't know what white's going to do with this light square bishop. Let's play the queen back now. Eye this up. Maybe I throw that knight into b4 soon, because if I play knight b4, c3, knight d3, it'd be really nice to have my bishop aimed against this guy. So I'm also thinking about taking and then here. It's an interesting plan. Normally, you wouldn't take and give them the file like that, but I actually think under the circumstances, that might be a pretty good idea, even if white plays queen f2. Because again, both of these bishops are so bad, and I want to keep it that way. c4, interesting, but all right, let's threaten that. Queen e1, I'm going to jump in here. All right, now the pieces are coming to life. Yup, good move. Too bad I can't play knight d3 here. That would be really nice. So I'll just back off. And maybe here. Let's go here first, though. I want to control this square. This is my plan. Here we go. Oh, this is getting spicy now. Whoa. Let's hurry. I win the house now. Oh! Oh, I won. That was close, though. I was playing a really good game and nearly botched it on the clock. That was a fun game, though. Thank you for the game. I am out of time. I enjoyed that. Yeah. I really like the position I got here as black. I would play the Dutch much more often if I got positions like this. This is a bit tricky, though, trying to figure out all the logistics. Queen e1. That allowed the knight in. This roundabout here was pretty critical because, I'd love to play knight d3 to attack the queen and try to force it from g3. But if knight d3, white's going to take here in between move, right? So I had to spend time pulling the bishop back. But I feel like this is pretty much winning. I just got to time this idea correctly. Let's take a very quick look. Oh, yeah. This is dead winning. Engine says just do it right away. I didn't play it right away because of this. But now knight d3. And I control all these squares, so there's no issues with the queen coming in. Okay, you know what's bad if queen f4 is one of the top moves here? Queen. Yeah, that's not looking too hot. Queen e2, take, king h1. Oh, and then a nice retreat move. Bishop d8, trying to go here. That's actually pretty tough for white to stop. But I think even the way I played it, I think the position's overwhelming at this point. Rook f4 did kind of throw me for a loop, to be honest, because I think the idea is if I take here, then here. Although evidently this is dead winning too. Double check now. Okay, yeah, that's pretty crushing too. But I'm pretty satisfied with this as well, because even here, if bishop takes a5, I take. There's queen g7. It's too much stuff. White's losing that rook. All right. Well, thank you for the game. I am out of time. Probably somewhere in the opening could have been better played for you. Yeah, maybe around here you should not take my knight. I like this patient approach that the engine's advocating, e3. It's kind of uncomfortable to leave the knight there, but that's probably the way to go. That was Poggers, says Bobby. Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun game. I got to play more Dutches. Elite of Iceland. Okay, let's play g3 this game. Iceland, beautiful country. Love Iceland. They have a very strong chess playing population there, too. For a while, they were said to have the most grandmasters per capita, which I bet is probably still true. Because I think the entire population of Iceland is not more than 400,000 people or so. And they have, I'm going to say maybe like 10 grandmasters. Maybe even a little more. So, with a population that's pretty low like that, that can produce some outliers when it comes to per capita type things. But they have a strong chess tradition there. They hosted the World Championship in 1972, the famous Fischer versus Spassky match. Bobby Fischer actually spent his last years in Iceland. He was given Icelandic citizenship. Yeah, they have a real tradition. The Reykjavik Open is coming up next month, actually. I was thinking about playing. Okay, so I'm up a pawn here. How am I going to unwind this position? Let's play a little bit of a funky move. Knight a3, looking for this. Oh, you've been to his grave in Selfoss. Yeah. Yep, you can go visit Bobby Fischer's grave. There's a Fischer museum as well right there, too. Maybe e4, f4. I want to expand with these pawns now, I'm thinking. Let's play e4 first. Looks a little more flexible. Their chess population is elite. Yeah. Okay, now time to push this guy, I think. Whoa. That is a risky pre-move, Elite of Iceland. Take back? All right, I'll give you take back. It looks like the type of move you might have accidentally played, so go ahead and improve. All right, let's go here now. Plays a6 again. Yeah, that would be the ultimate troll, wouldn't it? Let's take. All right, I got to be a little bit careful here because if I play something automatic like that, then take, bishop takes a2 is possible. I'm thinking I might want to play e5 here. Yeah, to attack that knight, also open this up, and it blocks the play down the file. So maybe now this move. I think time to get this knight back in the action. I'm up a pawn here, but I need to nurse it carefully. Was knight c2 bad before e5? Knight c2 invites this move, so I'm a little skeptical of that. Maybe I can play rook f2, but I didn't want to allow that rook to come in easily. This move looks incorrect. Knight d4 seems strong here. I'm going to play it without really thinking. It's a double attack. If black has to play bishop d7, then... Ooh, this could actually... Okay, I see a tactic. If black goes bishop d7 here, white to move and win material. What should white do? By the way, I know some viewers might be stream sniping if they're listening while I'm playing, so we don't mind too much if that's the case. Very good. Yes, many of you guys got it. E6, but we got to remove the defender. So we should actually, on this, to most cleanly execute this tactic, we should play bishop takes d5, then e6, then e7 with the fork on the two rooks. Yeah, so black goes here, but this is too much material. I'll show that after the game. Good job. A lot of you got it, though. Very good. All right, rook d2. I could take this, but take here. I'm just going to play this to keep things simple. Definitely looks easiest. Oh, thank you, Clear Air. Glad to hear that. Thanks for watching over the many years I've been posting content online. Glad it's helped you. Let's take. I'm up a rook. Take this one. Keep my opponent caged in. And let's just push, push, push. Cut the king off. And check. I should have a mate in not more than like 2 moves here, 3 moves. Do I have a mate in 2? Play rook f6. I can triangle mate. I can triangle mate if I want. Let's do that because this shows a nice pattern. May not be the most efficient. So here you get the triangle like this, and then here check again, and we're just walking the king down the railroad. Or sorry, this is actually the triangle. This is the box. So you go triangle to box for checkmate. Just a good pattern to know with a queen and a rook. Please drink water. Well, I do have water. I've been drinking a lot of coffee, though, so thank you for the reminder. Stay hydrated. Yeah, that is from the Checkmate Patterns Manual, that terminology. The kill box mate, along with the triangle. Yeah. So this is the kill box, which is an official term, by the way, if you look it up. Kill box idea. And that is the triangle. And both can result in a checkmate on the side of the board. All right. Thank you for the game, Elite of Iceland. I'll show that little tactical sequence there. So black was suffering down a pawn, but this f6 move led to a nice tactical opportunity for me, knight d4. If black plays, since I am attacking this and this, if black plays here, a lot of nailing a sequence in chess comes down to move order. And here we want to get the move order right. We want to leave black with the fewest available chances to defend. So it's tempting to play e6 right away, but after bishop e8, black guards here, and their knight still guards this square. And if bishop takes d5, black can play rook takes d5, and this is not super clean. Because e7, black just goes here, and This pawn's arguably even a little overextended. So how can we clean that move order up? We can play bishop takes d5 with check first. When black is screened, black does not have the option of taking with the rook. Pawn takes, and now e6, which is effectively a double attack, right? Because we're hitting the bishop and we're threatening e7. It's an unsolvable double attack for black. This is nicely defended. And, bishop takes d5 originally crossed my mind for strategic reasons because I was like, okay, this is phenomenal. I have a nice knight on d4 with a really pretty bad bishop for black. I'm already up a pawn. Probably I can win this by strategic means really easily. But then it occurred to me that I have this coming through. So that would be totally crushing if that were to happen. Let's see if the engine verifies it. It does. It says e6 is also pretty good, but for a different reason. Yeah, there's no win of material here immediately, it seems. Rook ad1, knight f5, which would threaten e7. But once you see this line, you're not going to play anything other than this. This is super, super clean. So, Elite of Iceland, yeah, you lost that pawn early on. I think you were just a little bit too casual there with bishop c5. This is an understandable mistake, though, because it allows me to do this center fork trick, win the piece back, and then I was on d5 at the same time as well. So do watch that configuration if your opponent has that option. Thank you for the game. Oh, thank you, Sarusta. It says, good move. Let's play e4 against Kelmano. Hello, Kelmano. Dunskies asks, John, could you go for another GM norm in the Iceland tournament? Yes. I could. And maybe someone will earn a norm there. However, I will say in a tournament like that, it's going to be really tough. We're talking about the Reykjavik Open, which takes place next month in April. Now, that tournament used to be a little bit stronger. I think it's been diluted a little bit, as in there's not as many top players playing it. And it's a big open event, which does hurt norm chances. Because when you're going for a norm, you prefer your opponents to, on average, have a pretty high rating. My move order was a little bit inaccurate here. I should have played h3 first, by the way. So, yeah, you would prefer your opponents to have a bit higher of a rating. Just thinking of what I want to do here. I could play h3 now. Well, let's play it. This is a bit of a bluff, by the way. But let's see what my opponent does. Because if your opponents have a higher average rating, you don't have to score as many points. Whereas if they have a lower average rating, you have to score more points because norms are always based around performance rating. 2450 FIDE or higher for an IM norm. 2600 FIDE or higher for a GM norm. Nice, Kelmano. I love it. Yeah, so black could actually play knight takes e4 there, which is why I said this move order was a little bit inaccurate. But black didn't play that. So in a tournament like that one, probably for, I don't know, maybe 6, even 7 of the rounds, I would be playing down in rating. Very tough to make a norm like that because you pretty much got to be near perfect against the lower rated players, and then you probably got to score an upset against a GM or something as well. So really, really high bar. But I do like the event. If I were to play that, it wouldn't be for norm purposes. It would be just to go and enjoy playing some chess in a really cool location that values chess and, very scenic, cool people. But I don't think I'll make it this year, unfortunately. Hey, Axiom Fox. That said, it is a great tournament. I would recommend anyone who's looking for, an open event to play at some point, that you consider that tournament. It's really a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm not doing very well in this position. I'm kind of going backwards. We got to retreat. My knight just isn't very well placed here. I need to do something like this. Are there any other open tournaments around the world that you'd recommend? I haven't played a whole lot of major opens outside of the US. Okay, Luth, so I've heard Gibraltar's pretty nice. I can't vouch for the actual experience there because I've never played it, but it looks gorgeous. Gibraltar Open. I think that one might be a little more strict with the rating categorizations. Yeah, I got to play some like awkward stuff here. Rook B1. I think Spain, Greece, they have awesome open tournaments, especially in the summertime. Let's take. Okay, this knight is loose, so I wish there was a way I could exploit that. Like, whoops, check, king back, bishop back. Not seeing anything. I could take this pawn, maybe. Looks a little risky, though. But I might do it. Bishop takes h3. I don't trust it. Let's go knight d5. I'm just going to play for activity. Rook b1. Rook b1 was played to get out of this. And also, if there was a trade, I could hit the pawn on b7. If ever black played bishop takes c3. Oh, nice, Ozers. I played Alex Fishbane. All right. So I really got to come up with something here. This is not that great. It's going to be a time scramble. I'm taking a pawn, but I'm a little scared because I've been passive for the last 15 moves. Oh, he missed that this is hanging, though. Also, I can take e4. That's probably even better. Let's do that. Because there's a pin. If I took f8, there was bishop takes g2 in between move, maybe. Both were good, though. Oh, Kalmano. Thank you for the game, Kalmano. Sorry, my voice is going a little bit. Yeah, you were outplaying me for sure. Yeah, thanks again for your kind words. You handled this position admirably. Yeah, so I think the critical thing against this knight takes d4 move is actually knight takes e4, as far as I remember. But the way you played it looks totally fine too. Yeah, white has to work up to this idea. I forgot that the move order really matters here. I think h3, if you're going to try for the idea I did in the game, h3 then bishop e3 is the way to go. Just conclusively rule out knight g4. Because taking with the queen like this, yeah. The engine says my position was already really sus here after the kind of natural bishop e3. Oh, I like pawn b3 here. Yeah, that makes sense because then here you can go here. And you're going to play bishop b2 after that. Try to create an opponent for that bishop. I mean, I didn't see anything huge that you missed around here. But I'm sure the engine will point out some way you could have increased the pressure. You played a lot of moves that were, pretty punishing. Or looked consistent. But I think once I go knight d5, knight e3, I'm close to equalizing. So maybe you had something better around here. Engine saying c6, queen a5, a little more aggressive, hitting that knight. Thanks again for the game. Okay, Lambo Shack. Or Lambo Shack. Lambo Shack, maybe. A chess Lamborghini. Let's play a Gambit, e4. I maybe should have played my g4 style Gambit against the Dutch, but we'll play it this way. This line's fun, too. But yeah, I played g4 before, also h3 and then g4. I've even done that in tournaments. It's a fun line against the Dutch. Not exactly sound, but pretty fun. The only thing about the Dutch main line, d4, f5, entering the Dutch that way versus like playing e6 first or something, white has all these very annoying and interesting sidelines. Here I'm going to go queen h5. This is not supposed to be good for black. So the Dutch is a bit of a wild card. You might logically think, well, isn't black basically playing a Sicilian against d4? But you're weakening your king. So that's always going to be a little riskier. Unlike the Sicilian, which does not weaken the black king. Well, unfortunately, the YouTube chat has devolved a little bit into spam. All right, let's take this one. I think this pawn should probably drop soon, but I do want to keep the d pawn, so I'm thinking bishop e3 here. I see you, Sarosta. But yeah, don't spam the chat, Sarosta. There are mods over on YouTube, just to be clear. A lot of chess action going on these days. Shout out to Richard Rapport, by the way, for winning that leg of the FIDE Grand Prix. Did I read that he has a very good chance now of making the candidates tournament? Like an extremely high chance? I must confess, I have not been paying attention to it very much. Let's play g4, bishop g2, knight g3. I'm just going to try to collect this pawn slowly. Like 95%? Wow. Okay. Yeah, because there's the other leg coming up, and I think like Naka, Aronian, maybe a couple other guys, since they're all going to battle with each other, they're going to get fewer points on the tour, as far as I understand. So one of them might have to play like absolutely lights out to qualify at this point. I should really look at the qualification tables a little bit. It's quite confusing, though, because there's 3 legs of the FIDE Grand Prix. So it's hard to keep track of. Hello, Pixel. Naka is 30, Aronian is 25, Anish is 16. At first, I thought you were talking about their ages. I'm like, pretty sure that's not correct. But you're talking about their percent chance of qualifying. How does that work, though, if Rapport is a 95% chance? Oh, because there's 2 spots? There's 2 spots, right? Got it. So Rapport's like virtually a lock for one of the spots, and then the other guys are battling it out with Hikaru, according to K Loose numbers, having the best chance at the moment. What is my percentage chance, John? Man, I wish I could claim it was something other than 0.0. All right, I'm up a pawn here. I finally won the pawn on e4. Is my opponent going to go for e5? Kind of feels like it. Let's play f4. Let's go d5 now. This knight's awkwardly placed a little bit. Yep. Black's looking pretty cramped here. Knight b5. Let's do it. Lambo Shack. I think Lambo Shack is not happy with their position. They've started praying already. Yeah, I get the fork here. Thanks for the game. I feel when I type it out, it makes it more personable and personal than if I used one of the quick autocomplete messages, right? But I do sometimes like putting "got to go, bye." Like, it's just hilarious to me that those are auto messages. Like, I've got to go. My chat needs me. All right, thanks for the game, Lambo Shack. So you just kind of played a sketchy variation right from the jump, this d5 move. I know this looks natural to support the pawn, but in light of queen h5, always a move you got to watch out for in the Dutch, you shouldn't play that line. You should play knight f6 instead. That's the way to do it. Yeah, knight f6. And then bishop g5 is probably what I would do. Turkey Farm says, LOL, me too, John. Especially if I lose a really bad game, I throw in, I've got to go. It's like being on a bad date or something. You know, what if you could just terminate a bad date with like an autocomplete Lichess message? Like, I've got to go. Bye. Thanks for the game. Interstellar Noob, you're up. We played one game before. Hopefully you're there. Run back to your keyboard, Interstellar Noob. I hear you. I hear you in your house. I know you're running to the keyboard. Are you going to make it there? 3, 2, 1. We got to abort, unfortunately. You didn't quite make it. All right. Next opponent. Prince of Pipirex. Okay. Someone was asking about a Jobava London, so I'll try to play that. Thanks, you dated well. I got to go. Yeah. Just type out I got to go on your phone and show it to them. All right, e3. The Jobava is pretty nice if black commits to an early c6, I think, because this bishop has a lot of scope. The London in general is kind of nice when this happens. All right, now we'll play h6. So I've been able to expand here, the extended bathtub. And usually next you play bishop d3. Or sometimes you can go like this. You can kind of take a longer route. But I'm going to play this direct. I'm going to go here. Start a date with good luck. Right, that would be the ultimate meta game. Good luck. There's a lot of parallels, right? I think we're establishing that. All right, let's break in the center. We'll play e4. Now, I think black might want to play e6, but I wonder if I can go bishop d6 there and stop black from castling. This seems kind of annoying, right? Bishop deep in the enemy position. This is probably nothing special, actually, but it looks interesting. My pawns look overextended, but it's fine somehow. Yeah, you know, that can happen in this line. But it's generally okay because we've gained tempi by pushing them. Like I was attacking that light square bishop multiple times with tempi. And I'm planning on castling this direction for the most part. So that's what justifies it. All right, I'm going to continue playing pretty direct here. Knight f4. I mean, if black's king hangs around too much longer in the center, I'm going to try to bust through. I might bust through even if black manages to get the king over a little bit. He can move the knight and try to take the bishop. Yes, he could try to move this knight, in which case he does. So we'll see what I do here. I could play e5, but I'd really like to play bishop a3, but I'm seeing knight c4. Let's go e5. So the bishop's really behind enemy lines now. It's fully committed to being a spy. And it's not even a spy. It's just obviously an agent for my position. It's not making its intentions hidden at all. But I'm lining up knight takes g6. I think without knight takes g6, I wouldn't really have much here, but that move looks so tempting now. There is c4, though. So maybe I take first. There's also check. Knight b5 is another move. There's knight takes e6 as well. Ooh, that might be the move. Because knight takes e6 if c4. I take the queen. Take. Knight takes b7. There's also knight. Oh, yeah. We got to go here. This has got to be the move. The other thing I was thinking about was takes, but I would prefer not to allow their knight to get back in the game. I think this should be pretty crushing. John, do you enjoy bagels? Yeah, I do. I like bagels. Yeah. I wish they were a little bit better for you. They're pretty much a carb bomb, but I do like them. It's a staple breakfast food for me. I have a bagel maybe once or twice a week. Oh, yeah? Name every bagel? Yeah. It's more about the cream cheese when it comes to bagels. It's not so much about the bagel itself, right? Take or queen d4. I don't know. Let's take. I'm going to take, and I'm thinking about e6 here. E6 is pretty violent. Let's do it. I'm going to try to get at this now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very Midwestern thing, the way I'm pronouncing it. Yep. Probably even safe to say it's like a Minnesota thing. Take. This is a big time fork square, so if I can clear this out. I mean, is the idea check and then queen takes f7? That's kind of creative if so, but I think it's going to fail. Actually, the idea is probably just to take. And then what is my knight doing there? But I'm going to play queen d4. That's what I'm going to do. With insidious ideas. It attacks the knight, attacks the rook, defends the knight, and knight e6 now. Which, interestingly, maybe I could have even played on the previous move. But now, it's just good. Check. Go pick up the rook. Oh, yeah? Also in Ohio? Got it. Let's go here now. Just putting the finishing touches on this. That said, I don't think the whole bishop d6 idea was that good. I think had black played bishop f8, black would have been totally fine. All right, now there's knight takes d5 stuff at any point. Queen e5, knight e4 looks pretty vicious. Let's play knight e4. Get the other knight involved. Using the pin. You're missing the battle spikes? Yeah, I have not put the battle spikes up for a long time. My hair has just been a little lifeless recently. It's a struggle, you know, when you get a little bit older. Your hairline starts to go. Oh, and one fork square to another. Big time fork here. I am sorry, Prince of Pure X. This feels a little bit cruel at this point with the knights. Battle spikes add 50 elo. I think you're right, actually. I do tend to play better with them. Yeah. Someone pointed that out on my YouTube channel a long time. Nice. Prince of PPX is metagaming us in the autocomplete message chat here. Nice one. I've got to go by. If you write that before you resign, and then you just quit the game, that's like walking out of the date without paying the tab and just leaving it for your date. So Principe Purex showed good form there. They resigned first and then wrote that message. They paid their tab. Yeah, this is too much. But I think had you, yeah, right around here, the engine's not buying what I'm doing here. I mean, I thought on bishop d6, you might want to go bishop f8 immediately. But it actually said, okay, knight b6. It really likes knight b6. I guess the point is it wants to force me to do something with this bishop immediately. Because if ever I go here, knight 8, knight c4 does look pretty good. This starts to become awkward. Like here, I'm going to get chased. Knight a6 as well. So that seems to be the thing. Make a point to go attack this bishop right away. Knight c8, wow. And black is a point and a half better here, despite having almost all their pieces on the back rank. Would you predict that from this position? That black is minus 1.2 or higher? I don't know that I would. But it actually does make a good deal of sense. And you know why? Because this whole side of the board is sealed up. Even though I objectively have a space advantage here, I can't do anything with it on the king side. This pawn break is not going to happen unless I'm straight up sacking a pawn. I have the one knight sack idea like here or here, but black doesn't have to allow that in a logical way if they don't want to. So it may be counterintuitive, but black I totally believe that they're better here because the battle is going to shift at some point to this side of the board. And black's probably going to hide their king over here. I've already committed my king to the queen side. Maybe I could try to make it back towards the king side, but it's interesting that that's the evaluation here. Yeah, no breakthroughs for white. 14, e takes d5, knight takes d5. Let me check. Oh, yeah, here. Yeah, I wasn't really looking at taking, but that is a cool line. Take, and then take here, looking to open the e file, because I do have just nasty threats down the file like that. Check. Black would have to throw a piece in the way. Yeah, good point. Yeah, and black's fine. Wow. Look at this. Just the one move c5 here. 9-point blunder. Takes it from an equal position to +9. That is brutal. But again, it makes sense. Knight takes e6. Like, that's really the only tactical shot I have here is this knight sack here or here. So best move, queen d7, just guards the e6 square. Probably makes this a bad idea because black can block with the queen. I don't have enough comp. So here too, black's totally fine. But the margin for error is getting slimmer for black because this is now conclusively opened up. But yeah, that's pretty rough after that. Thank you for the game, Principe Pyrex. Very clever messages as well. Now, I wish they had the same messages like right at the beginning. Like, what if you put I've got to go, but then you actually started playing? That could be an interesting meta ploy, right? Because your opponent may feel bad for you. They may start playing fast, thinking like, oh, like I don't want to inconvenience my opponent if they're rushing out the door. Here, let me play fast too. And then you're like, ha, I got him. You slow down at the right moment and you just nail them tactically. But no, it's just like, good luck, have fun. So Lichess, you should think about expanding the autocomplete messages. That would be great. Maybe hey, April Fool's is coming up. Only got a few weeks here before April Fool's. Think about it. You know, it's free advice. All right, let's play an anti-Marshall. Black can try d5 if they want. That's still playable. New YouTube series, using the chat as a weapon. I like that, Pitch Bucket. Yeah. Unfortunately, just the biggest defense against that is people playing in Zen mode, right? If someone's in Zen mode and they're not seeing chat whatsoever, it's just like being at a poker table with the player who has earbuds and sunglasses on, not at all listening to what you have to say. Okay, this is like a delayed Marshall. I'm going to take it because basically I've got a free move in here with h3. We'll see how much that helps me. But it seems like Who's Magic has been intent on playing a Marshall-style position, and I can respect that. But I think with this move inserted, this should be pretty significantly better for me now. Hello, JJ Timberwood. Right, they may not speak the language that you're typing in as well. That's also a good defense. Hello, Wojciech. Wojciech? I'm sorry, I'm completely mispronouncing your name. They say, great to catch you live. Big fan, but never able to see you live. Well, yeah, you're in luck today. Thanks again for tuning in. Should I do this? I feel like I'm going to get chased. I don't really want to give up the bishop pair, so let's go here. Bit of a logjam, like how to get my minor pieces out, because this is the thing. If you take this pawn, you are going to be down a bit in development, so I want to make sure I can get my pieces in the game logically. That's just thank you for subbing to the Lichess channel. 11 months. Once again, shout out to Lichess for making this happen every week. Lichess plays. There are other streamers who do Lichess plays. For me, it's a weekly thing. I'm lucky to say they want me to do this, and I'm happy to oblige. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to it every week. And Lichess is completely free to use. They pledge to always be free. I think it's a fantastic mission statement. I want to take this. I don't believe this move. I see what black's going for, But I just don't believe it. I'm not buying whose magic is telling me. If there's magic here, well, I can also take with the queen. But I kind of want to take with the pawn just to see if this works out. Because knight f1 would shut it down. Should I take with the queen? I mean, queen takes just completely wins. I don't know. All right, I'm going to give whose magic a shot. We're going to let them play some attacking moves. All right, try to get through. This is your shot. Knight f1. This is like knight f8. There is no mate. Knight f1. Black's not having fun. I don't think. But maybe. Maybe they can find something here. But I'm guarding the h2 square. This pawn's also guarded. This is his moment, right? I think I know what I would do as black here, but I fully admit that there's nothing immediate. Yeah, I like that move. That looks good to me. Let's take, I think. Yeah, let's take. I'll just go bishop d2. Just a little calm bishop move. We're getting low on the clock, both of us. Now, if black could get the rook involved in the attack somehow, that'd be great. Don't play rook e6, though, because the bishop takes e6. Maybe rook e4? I don't really think it's a great move, though. Okay, black goes back, pivots here. But you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to play queen f3. I'm going to go after this pawn. Bishop e6. And now I'm pretty much fully coordinated. I can play rook e1. If black moves, bishop takes b3, I'm taking down on e8. There we go. Whose magic resigns? Thank you for the game. I will resist the temptation to say bye or got to go. Thank you. So your idea, this delayed Marshall idea, this is possible sometimes. I just don't think it's a good idea here because white essentially has a mainline Marshall Gambit with h3 inserted, which I'm pretty sure should give white an advantage. Yeah, knight g4 is just too much. Even with pawn takes, as we saw, black's compensation is dubious. Because you're kind of only attacking with your pieces, and if I cover the squares that you're attacking, then everything works out. Also, I had queen takes g4, which is definitely the safest. So, what does the engine prefer here? I'd be shocked if it preferred h takes to queen takes. It's pretty close, though. Yeah, so you kind of have to play this position down a pawn, maybe play it strategically, like queen d7, rook e8, maybe c5 or something, or even a5. But a bit of a misplaced sacrifice in the opening. So thank you for the game. All right. Who do we have next? Fede Pascua, good to see you. We played a couple times in the past. All right, let's play b6 against this one. Hello, John. Do you think it's okay to find a coach who is coaching on the side, an active player, or should I look for a full-time coach? Love your calm demeanor. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I would say it probably doesn't matter too much. I would actually recommend finding a coach who still plays actively a little bit, even if they just play online. I tend to think that those coaches are better. They're more in tune with what it's like to be an active player. That's not to say that someone who hasn't played any form of competitive chess in a long time can't do a good job. But I think the active players who are also coaches will do it better. Maybe d5. I'm going to break with d5 right away. We might have some mass trades in the center, but let's see how this shapes up. Steven on YouTube asked, JB, do you play the fantasy variation of the Sicilian? Saw it played by an IM in a titled match. Looks fun. Fantasy variation of the Sicilian. Do you mean of the Caro-Kann? I don't know what the fantasy in the Sicilian is. Thank you, Judy. Says, how is your relationship advice business? That might be what I might have to start after I'm done with chess full time. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Let's play rook c8. So white is not taking here in the center. Oh yeah, no problem, Chodek. I mean, it's debatable. Some of the actually most well-known coaches in chess history um, were not all that active of players beyond a certain point. Like, for example, Mark Duretsky. I mean, primarily known as a writer and a coach later in life, not super duper active, but still highly regarded. But in my opinion, if someone has the skill set to become a great player, now I'm talking mostly like grandmasters and stuff. So, this might apply to lower titles or other players, but if someone has the ability to get to that point and can relate to students and does a good job preparing for lessons, knows their material, I just think naturally they're probably going to do a better job than someone who's strictly coaching and not playing themselves. Because chess has that advantage, right? It's not like a sport where, some of the best coaches in sports, of course, are not going to be playing like after a certain age, right? Like that just physically is not going to be an option for them. But chess is different. Like you can still be fairly active, even if it's just playing online until very late in life. Like there's no inherent limit to that. And I know when I've been playing tournaments, I have not been active so much in the past couple of years, partly due to COVID. But when I played tournaments in the past, I feel like my coaching is just better. I'm just sharper. I'm more in tune with the real life demands of tournaments. Everything's just a little crisper. Bishop e5 would be a funny move here, by the way. Fortunately, I have queen a8. Otherwise, my queen would be in trouble. Oh, thank you, Yash. Can I play the Duras Gambit? Can I play Caro-Kann? Can I play Banco Gambit? And Steven was asking about the fantasy variation. I don't really see the deal with the fantasy variation of the Caro-Kann. We're talking about the line e4, c6, d4, d5, f3 for white. I understand it's playable. It's such an ugly looking move, though. I would not mess with that personally. I can't imagine that line in theory should give black problems. But it's very quirky. Like that's probably the big thing it has going for it. It's quirky. It immediately forces black to play unusual positions. And if they're not prepared for that, well, crazier things happen. Okay, now I'm going to take. I got to unleash this battery down here. And this seems like a good time to take when white's a little bit weak down this diagonal. All right, now how do I want to do this? Probably rook takes d1 first to draw the bishop away, then take here, weaken white's position. And let's take again. And now for my next trick, I will play knight f5. Black looks pretty comfortably better here. Maybe white can defend this if they play perfect, but I definitely like my position here. I'm just going to slow play this. Let's play h6. Just make some room for the king. Maybe even g5. Because it's kind of hard for white to move this knight because they always lose g2. Let's go here. These pawns should just be a target. I mean, I don't think the advantage is massive, though, but it's appreciable. Let's take this now. Weak pawns galore. Oh, I wanted to pre-move that so bad. Now here, very tempting to play queen takes f3, but that would backfire heavily due to queen d8. So I got to take with the knight. And I should hurry now because this is a time scramble. I'm up a pawn. Let's get this up. This looks like a technical win for black because white's pretty passive and I'm up a pawn. But, this could take a little while in theory. But winning position now. Thank you for the game, Fede Pasqua. I think you were doing just fine up through the middle game. I would actually say you're probably better somewhere around here. Ooh, look at that. Significantly better. Yeah, this might have been a little creative what I did, like allowing bishop e5 and sending my queen over there. So do you have a tactic? Do you have a tactical blow around here? Maybe not, but the engine just thinks your pieces are looking really good. Knight e5. It wants you to play. Yeah, I can see why you're better here. I mean, if I take, I probably got to worry about knight d7. Is that the point? I got to watch these moves coming in here. Yeah, knight g4. Ah, because there's even knight h6 ideas. Without my dark square bishop around my king, I can see how this is a problem. So I think you were doing fine. This opening selection, we were both kind of sitting back, nothing special. But I think you handled this pretty well in terms of how you coordinated. I like your queen maneuver more than I liked mine. Probably this rook c2 move was, step in the wrong direction. I felt like this position was pretty comfortable for me once we got all the way down here. Thank you for the game. Who's up next? Vim the editor. Good luck. 1901. Let's play d6. And let's play knight f6. What is Vim? That's some computer science thing? Caro talked about saying that you still have the capacity, or you have the capacity and knowledge of becoming a GM. Are you still pursuing that? Well, that's very kind of Hikaru. Not pursuing that right now, might in the future. Wim Hof, yes, the Wim Hof method. Vim is a file editor you can do in a command line. Okay. No, I don't know much about programming whatsoever. Even though I did co-found Chessable, I give all the credit to David Cramley, my co-founder, who actually wrote the entire site, coded the site. I was not brought on for that. What did I major in? I was a business admin major, business administration. If I could do it again, though, first of all, I don't think I would go to college again. That's certainly not like knowing my career path now. But if I were to go to college and study something, it would not be business admin. I don't know what it would be, but that was just too broad. I mean, it's been semi-helpful, but in hindsight, a lot of the things I learned were not really applicable to even a pretty broad career path. I thought you were a lawyer. I was in law school, too. Yeah, I was in law school briefly. I didn't finish law school, but that's what I was doing before I did chess full time. That was over 10 years ago now. Let's go queen c7. Kind of slow playing this. Bishop f8 I'm looking for. I might start expanding over here. I should definitely think about b5. That's a typical way to kind of crawl forward on the queen side. Why did I drop out of law school? I like studying law. My classes were very interesting, but I didn't see myself practicing law. And that became pretty clear to me after a semester. So I thought about sticking around, but ultimately it was a good decision. I just didn't feel it in my gut that that was the right path for me. And I always wanted to try chess full time. Alistair says, I'm only here to see if the Christmas tree is still up. Well, there you go. Yeah. You bet it is. These positions are always interesting. Like, what piece to put on f8? Do you play bishop f8? Or do you play knight f8 and you start maneuvering? I think in this case, I'm going to go bishop f8. John, would you recommend playing USCF tournaments for fun? Absolutely. I mean, if you're interested in chess At some point, I would recommend playing a tournament. I think that's a great idea. I would recommend that to pretty much anyone out there who's interested in taking the game a little more seriously or just having fun. Yeah. So I can win a pawn here, perhaps. Take e4, take. I mean, is there any problem with that? Not that I see. Let's just take and see if he takes with the queen or the bishop. Maybe queen takes is okay for white, but it looks a little awkward. Knight c5. Does take with the queen. Yeah, let's go knight c5. I'm going to attack this pawn again. Where am I from? I live in Minnesota, the state of Minnesota in the U.S., and I'm from here as well. All right. Here is interesting. Don't know that I'm quite ready for it. I could play knight e6, bishop e6, a lot of options. Not a lot of time, though. Let's play knight e6. I'm going to sack a pawn. I'm going to go d5 on the next move, probably, because I'm starting to think the dark squares leading towards the white king are very weak. So this is going to be my justification for the pawn sacrifice. The dark squares are looking tender for my opponent. Doesn't take this pawn, though. Well, let's see if I can get them to take it if I push it. Oh, because now bishop c5 is trouble, which I think, well, maybe white didn't see it. Yeah, when white played f3, I started to think, even though we're getting towards time pressure, it's going to get messy, I should probably go after white's king. Thank you, Vin, the editor. I learned something from your username. Kind of a close game, I think. Maybe this setup isn't the greatest for you, even though your pieces look pretty logical. But these positions are deceptive, because black's pawn play is more flexible and robust than white's, even though white has the center. That's often the case with these positions. It almost feels like white's only playing with the D and the E pawns. All the other pawns are not doing a whole lot. So it can be hard to find a plan here. That said, I don't know that I played this completely perfect either. The engine actually likes d5 here. Interesting. So it doesn't hate the d5 idea, but I might have slightly mistimed it. So this should just go bishop b7 here. So thank you for the game, Vim. Yeah, it's an interesting line I play sometimes. This invitation into a queenless middle game. All right. We got time for a few more games here. TNK, hello. TNK, I definitely remember you. We don't have history here, huh? Have we played on chess.com? I definitely remember you. All right, I'll play Scandy against TNK. I think we must have played on chess.com in the past, but I must confess I don't remember. All right, I'm going to play a line that is a little bit passive for black, but I've played it many times. I can play it pretty quickly and simply. It involves meeting queen b3 with queen c8, then you go knight d7, often a6. We'll keep the bishop for now. Okay, we're going to get a trade. Now this should be fine for me. Let's actually play c6 now. White's got a bit of a space advantage. The pawn on c4 is an achievement for white. That is a positive for them. But black has a very typical, solid, Scandy position. Okay, c5, committal move. I'm going to go back now because white has given me the d5 square to work with. And that can be nice. We often like that. All right, let's go knight d5. Let's take this way. We're going to navigate the game towards the center, maybe queenside. We shall see. This is maybe looking kind of equal now. Bishop f6. Yeah, I think I can maneuver. I'm going to play like knight f8, knight e6. Could try to contest my opponent down the file, but I like this knight maneuver. I think this is... There's no infiltration right now. I don't see a whole lot of plans for white. Maybe they'll double up the rooks on the b file. So aiming for b7, but I think if I keep things calm, the position should be fine. Ooh, but that looks a little loose, arguably, although maybe he's going to go here. This, though, can my opponent tolerate that? I can take and then take c5. I could also take c5 first. I think this might be the best move now. Looks correct. Let's do it. Take, hit the queen. So if pawn takes, I take here, and I've won a pawn. And if the queen moves, I think knight back to d7. Maybe a bit of compensation there for white, but hopefully not enough. They can play knight e5 after that. But then I have c5. Yeah. c5. Okay, let's go here then. Because I want to keep my pawn if possible. That would be fantastic if I was able to do that. Maybe I even go here. So rook e6, knight e5, c5, white can take. I'm just looking at back rank stuff. I don't want to get hurt on the back rank. I think I can do this. We'll find out. Queen takes c6, queen takes a2. I don't know. I'm seeing some issues with this now. Maybe I can get out, though. Take, rook a1, queen e2, rook e1, queen d3. I somehow feel like I'm playing with fire doing this. If I had played h6 already, I'd feel more comfortable with this. I still think I'm going to do it. But I'm paranoid about getting back ranked here. I don't see it, though, so I'm going to go for it. I really don't see it. Yeah, got to watch my time, too. Good opponent here, so important to stay reasonable on the clock. Okay. Rook e6, maybe? Ay. I know I just said that, but I gotta be careful. Tense position. Very tense. You could probably take now. That'll be fine. Doesn't, though. It's there. Okay, let's go here. What's going on? Nobody knows. I have ideas now, though. My clock situation's not good, but I have ideas. Whoa. I don't think that's a good idea by my opponent. Oh, that? Really? Wait a minute. Does that work? Hold on. Let's go here. What is happening in this position? This is wild. This is going to be a perpetual? Take. Draw. Whoa. Crazy end to that one. I can't take the knight is the thing. So take, there's mate here. Take, there's mate here. GG. I don't know. I think a draw's a fine result. Whitey could even play on here, although I have at least a draw with that. Actually, I'm winning if that happens, but I don't know if I would have made it on the clock. Got to go. Yeah, right. Got to go. Bye. Yeah, I don't know. Even though I won a pawn, it was not simple because white was pretty active. And my time was obviously pretty low. I feel like knight takes f7 should definitely lose, but I couldn't figure it out. Let me think. Because strangely, I can't really take this knight. Even queen takes, which looks total. No, queen takes is winning. I made a mistake here. Queen takes. I hallucinated that this would be a problem, but of course I just go back. Yeah. So that was my first instinct, and that's what I should have played. Yeah, that's an easy win. Just block. Yeah, I mean the game will continue a little bit, but is that the best line after knight takes f7? I don't think I have a forced mate or anything. Yeah, queen takes is the move. I did that, and then knight h6 is correct. And I could try to press for a win here, but it's risky. I think under the circumstances with that time, 2 seconds, I'm happy. I would have got flagged, I'm pretty sure, if he had played queen h2. You want the blindfold game? Oh, yeah, it's coming up. What else to discuss in this one? Let's just see the eval. White's a little bit better. Yeah, I think this is one of these pawns that, although you take it, you recognize that you have a tough position even after that. It's not simple. The engine's showing dead equal. So the engine's basically saying white has full compensation for this pawn. Not simple at all. This is good. Okay, I don't feel so bad about this. I just missed the fact that I can play queen takes f7 cleanly. So I saw queen takes f7, just didn't see that after this. I thought there was some trick on the back rank, but white's running out of ammunition. Okay, so thank you for the game, TNK. TNK is the only one to get me for even a draw today, but there's one more game to be played. We got to go change our preferences to indicate blindfold chess, invisible pieces. You can do this too in your own play if you want a challenge. Now, again, I'm going to accept a random challenge blindfold here. If you're watching, you're going to see it from my perspective. So you're not going to see any of the pieces. There will be the move list on the right-hand side, but that's it. And the highlights of where the moves are, so I know what my opponent played. But if you want to follow the game, follow me on Lichess. Just observe me. It's Fins, F-I-N-S is my username. Here we go. Last game of the day. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into Lichess Plays. If I forget to mention, we're playing Tiroj. Let's play E4. Let's go for it. This is always a challenge. Oh, yeah. Thank you, No Joke Chess, for dropping the link. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, you might drop it in the YouTube chat as well. No Joke gave you a direct link to where you can follow this game and see it with the pieces in their full glory. Okay, we have a hyper-accelerated dragon. I'm going to take twice, or take once. Very early development of the dark square bishop for black. Normal stuff. Okay, d6. Let's play bishop e3. I'm going to castle queenside if I can, because that's really fun to do against this line. Knight f6, f3, standard stuff. Castles, yup. Queen d2. Black has not yet played knight c6, but it could very well be coming. Now, on knight c6, I know a lot of the big-time theoretical stuff revolves around castling queenside, but I always prefer 9 bishop c4. I'm just a little more comfortable with that. But we're going to castle because, okay, now this, and then, yes, I'm going to go bishop c4. So we've transposed to the Yugoslav attack. This will be interesting for you dragon players out there. One of the most famous games in this line in chess history is Karpov-Korchnoi from 1974 in their World Championship match, where Karpov played a model game in this line for white. Kudos to Korchnoi for playing the dragon in a World Championship, though. He made some bold opening choices at the highest level. Okay, this line a6, b5 I think is not that great for black. It's a little bit slow, actually. All right, so black playing h5. You know what we're going to do? We're going to just go for the jugular against that. We're going to play g4. I'm going to try to break through immediately. Let's play h5 now. So black played h takes g4. I'm ripping open the king. We don't mind giving material to do this. And assuming black plays knight takes h5, this is going to get interesting. Black does play it. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play knight takes c6, which forces bishop takes c6. And now I have a choice. Do I take g4 or do I play something like bishop h6? I think they're both pretty good. I'm going to play bishop h6 because it's a little bit trickier. But I think both moves are very good. F takes g4 would just win the pawn back and attack the knight. But bishop h6, we almost always want to trade off that bishop anyways. So let's go for that. My opponent plays e6. That's a good move. That's a good move because it blocks rook takes h5 followed by queen g5. And now I probably will play f takes g. Well, I don't know if e6 is a good move, but it at least block that main threat. Actually, it still looks really tough for black, I got to say, because I'm going to play bishop takes g7 and queen h6 next. So yeah, maybe in fact, I shouldn't have too many obstacles here. Yeah, now let's take. We're coming in hot. This is going to, whoops, don't click on that, John. We're coming in hot. This is checkmate. We can pre-move the mate. There we go. Queen h8 checkmate. A pretty smooth, very smooth game in the Yugoslav Dragon. Yeah. That worked out according to what Bobby Fischer said many years ago, that against the Dragon, you want to push your h-pawn, play bishop h6, trade their dark square bishop, and then sack, mate. All right, so let's bring the pieces back. Well, actually, if I just click right to the game to analysis board, it'll do it. I got to remember to change it back, though, because I often forget. So that's the thing about this line. If black misplays this variation, it can easily go south for them. And this a6, b5 approach, although black is pawn storming, it's not considered best. Most of the theory in the Dragon revolves around black playing knight e5 here, and then rook c8, looking for knight c4. Hey, Ecstatic Broccoli. Ecstatic says, I lost pretty much like that the only time I played the Dragon OTB. Sebi says, every Dragon game ever. Yeah, every Dragon player. Don't feel bad about this, Tiraj, because every Dragon player has lost in a style similar to this. Because even h5, like white doesn't mind blasting open the king side for a pawn or two if it leads to an attack. And you can see the eval here. Look at this. This is already decisive for white. Probably black should not take on g4, but if they don't, white's going to have nice options later. Yep, so I'm just barreling through here. Yep, I took here to deflect the bishop. I feel like that's a good moment to insert that capture. And here I was debating between takes right away and bishop h6. Bishop h6, though, is thematic because let's say black played something like, I don't know, rook c8 just for illustrative purposes. Remember this idea. You can play rook takes h5, and then on h takes g5, now you land the queen in with unstoppable mate, queen takes g7. You could pre-move queen takes g7. There's not even a check that black has. So that's one idea behind bishop h6 with the knight on that file. You're threatening that in addition to this f takes g line. And e6 did put a stop to that because black's observing this square, but it's too much now with this coming and the h file being open. Yeah. Too much pressure. Black can't take the bishop if they want to survive, but it's lost. All right, so thank you for the game, Tiraj. And thanks, everyone, for joining in today. This was a lot of fun. Lichess plays, as always. Huge shout out to Lichess once again for making this happen, for being a fantastic site with a plethora of free resources. Take advantage of all of them up here. Play, puzzles, learn. I love the study feature, one of my favorite features on the internet when it comes to chess. I do a lot of my lessons through the study feature. The watch tab, there's current games going on all the time that you can check out. Not only on Lichess, but also under broadcast. You can check out the tournaments like the FIDE Grand Prix, which concluded today. So take advantage of everything that Lichess has to offer completely for free. Yeah, thanks again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great week. YouTube and Twitch, shout out to both of you. And I will see you guys most likely next week. All right. Take care, everyone. We're going to raid someone here. No Joke Chess has the call. We're raiding the last samurai. See you later.